Hi everybody, welcome to Ninjace 2020, where we turn excuses into results. I'm your host again, Jim Sammartino, aka Ninjace.
This is week 13, and to begin the finale, I'd like to start with a recap of my fitness journey.
The first week was one of the hardest because it required a lifestyle course correction, but for some this may be possibly the best weight loss week if your body has excess water weight to shed. I lost 5 pounds during week 3. It was a good milestone, but fitness and nutrition trends were still solidifying, so I know I needed to stay focused to gain the much needed traction. I achieved losing 10 pounds during week 5. Trends began to develop and the scale showed some progress, but my body was still learning to lose weight. Plateau frustration often sets in during this stage. 15 pounds was reached during week 8. Clothes began to fit better, and my confidence level was increasing, especially when people began noticing I was losing weight. I passed the 20-pound goal in week 10. Depending on how much you need to lose, you may not need to reach this level, but if you're like me, you find that the nutrition pattern has formed and you begin to challenge yourself more during workouts. Essentially, you've tasted success and want more. The new 25-pound milestone was achieved during week 13, and I'm now fitting into my skinny clothes, and it makes me feel great that my family and friends recognize my achievement by expressing how happy they are in seeing that I've chosen to take control over my life. I'm close to losing over 30 pounds now, so my commentary will need to wait until my next update. But I can tell you that I'm beginning to feel like my old self and look forward to becoming my better self. Over the past 13 weeks, I went from 260.4 pounds down to 233, an overall loss of 27.4 pounds. I saw a nice decrease in my body fat percentage of 5.5 percentage points, with only a slight decrease in muscle mass. My weight trend was consistent, but as expected, results did vary day by day. And weight wasn't the only thing that I improved. My resting heart rate decreased from 70 beats per minute to as low as 61 in early March. Another big win for me was reducing my visceral fat from 17 down to 13. This is a key health indicator as it tells you how much fat is around your organs. Below 10 is considered healthy, so I still have some work to do. And lastly, as you can see, I was diligent with my calorie intake as well as my macro food trends.
Now that was my fitness journey, and I didn't do anything extreme. I set a plan, I ate right, and I exercised. Now, you might think that that sounds like something you've heard from so many other people, and the thing is that it's true. It is what you've heard from a lot of people, but the difference is that I realized the fact that I need to understand my body the same way that you need to understand yours. Everyone has a different body type, they have different abilities, and different challenges. So what I'm going to do now is break down what worked for me into 5 simple principles that I hope you incorporate into your fitness plan in order to see the results that you're looking for. So the first one is discipline. You have to set a plan and stick to it. You also have to learn to tell yourself no. Just because you want something doesn't mean you should go after it. And when it comes down to goals, just wanting it isn't enough. You have to do something. You have to make that change in order to make that next step to achieving your goal. Secondly is burn more calories than you consume. What I had been is based off the advice that Sean Fagan had given me, I limited myself to 1,600 calories per day regardless of workout. So if I worked out, I had the same amount. If I didn't work out, I had the same amount. That dramatically increased my calorie burn, which you saw in those images that I showed you before. Now, keeping that in mind, you do want to make sure that you're going to be burning on average about 2,000 calories, even up to 3,000 calories per day. If you're burning that much more and only consuming 1,600, little bit by little bit, you'll see you'll be able to lose that pound, pound and a half, 2 pounds every week. Third is make sure you hydrate. That water makes your body healthy. It fills you up, it keeps your system flowing. You need to make sure you have that because your body's trying to get rid of all those toxins. The water helps make sure that gets out of your body. Fourth is make sure that you monitor your macronutrient balance. If you're not familiar with that is, that's no problem. I wasn't sure what that was originally either. Essentially, just eating the right amount of calories, that 1,600 calories per day, isn't necessarily enough. You could have a piece of cake and that could be 1,600 calories, and that's not necessarily good. What you have to make sure is you break it down into your proteins, your fats, and your carbs. And you have to have that right balance. Of course, monitoring and eating the best form of those as you can. What will work for me is trying to keep it to about a 40% protein, 30% fat, 30% carb, or on other days it might be 33, 33%. So very important you try to stick to that macronutrient. And if you need some help, try using some kind of fitness tracker. I personally used a Fitbit and I logged everything I ate and drank during the last 13 weeks, and it greatly helped me realize what I was consuming and that very important portion control. And lastly is accountability. Right from what I said in my intro, I started this group in order to make sure that I stayed on top of accountability and that every single week I was making sure that I had to communicate publicly what I was doing to make sure that even in those moments of weakness, I knew it wasn't just about me, it was about other people. I'm not saying that you necessarily have to have a video series like this. Do anything. Create that food journal. That's a form of accountability. Join a fitness group. Find a friend to work out with you. That's accountability. Do a vlog like I did. Whatever works for you, just have a form of accountability, even if it's just weighing yourself on that weekly basis and holding yourself accountable. So before I wrap up, I want to say thank you to a couple important people. The first, as I'd like to thank my friend Priscilla, who had visited me during this past Christmas break. She had told me how she lost about 20 pounds and how she did it. And I was like, wow, that's something I've been trying to do for so long. What were the tips that you had? And I incorporated that into this plan. And look, I was able to achieve it. I just had to stick to those plans that I set from the beginning. Secondly, I'd like to to thank my kids. They gave me that reason. I didn't do this just for myself, and that was a huge change for me. I didn't do it just for what I wanted to do or to feel better or to look better. I did it because I wanted to be there for them. I wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to do sports with them. I wanted to see them when they walked down the aisle for their wedding. And I wasn't on that track before, but now I finally am. I also want to thank my wife. She was there to support me in the days that were really hard, before I started working out, and even during when I was working out. So I greatly support and thank her for everything that she had done. Of course, super big thank you to Sean Fagan and Sean Fagan Fitness, as well as Christian, who was a big help, and all the team members that we have there, because it really helped me, give me that support, and give me those tips and tricks in order to get me to where I am today. And lastly, I want to thank all of you. If it wasn't for you guys to give me those cheers, to give me those questions, to give me that support, that level of accountability would have been different. So thanks to you, I was able to achieve my goals for this time. Lastly, speaking of goals, what's next? I reached a couple of my milestones. What am I going to do next? That's easy. I'm not going to stop. I've made a lot of progress and I'm beginning to feel like myself, but I wanted to make sure I can get to my best self, as I said in that last recap. So I'm going to set my new goal for 210 pounds to be achieved by July 4th. So it's about 13 weeks away from right now, and I'm going to be posting monthly videos now. So not weekly, but monthly videos for check-ins in order to give you guys that update to see how I'm progressing to my newest goal. With that, thank you guys again very much and for all of your support. And for now, Ninjace, signing out.